So thanks everyone for joining our webinar today. My name is Bronwyn. I'm a marketing specialist here at Webinterpret, and I'm going to just be hosting the webinar today, How to Grow Your Marketplace Business with Webinterpret. We're joined by our two main speakers, Claudia and Marcin, who have been working on the sales team with Webinterpret for a while. Claudia is our sales team leader and senior e-commerce sales executive. She works very closely with eBay sellers across the US market, and knowing the ins and outs of the e-commerce industry, as you'll soon find out. And Marcin is our sales executive, specializing in cross-border trade and helps marketplace sellers find success on international marketplaces. My name is Bronwyn again, like I mentioned. I build product-related content here at Webinterpret to support product knowledge and understanding. And I want to give one special shout out to Elliot, who is our technical support on all of the webinars we've been doing. He's our marketing automation specialist. For those of you that don't know, Webinterpret, we support programs across multiple regions, the UK, Germany, Italy, Spain, France. So we've been running these webinars across other regions as well, and we're really happy that we can support you with the US version of this webinar to support our US sellers specifically. So let's get the show going. So as you've probably seen already, we're going to be talking about our 4 core services. The first one I'm sure you're really familiar with, accessing more buyers internationally through internationalization. We talk about localization a lot, so those 2 words are pretty synonymous. It's our big translation tool. We're also going to go into our newer products, marketing, shipping, and returns, and give you the main value propositions of all those services and explain how they work. And along the way, please, if you have any questions, write them in the webinar chat you'll see in Zoom. There's also a Q&A feature in Zoom, so you can put your questions in either of those, and we will get to them towards the end of the presentation. And then just some background on Webinterpret. We've been doing this for 14 years, a really long time. We support 40,000 independent sellers worldwide, over 280 million live localized listings, and we're really proud to be a silver partner for eBay. That's pretty much us in a nutshell. And I'm going to be passing over the baton to Claudia now to get us started on internationalization. Thanks, Claudia.
No problem at all. So hi, everyone. You've probably heard my voice before if you've ever attended any US webinars, so don't get too bored of it again. And let's dig in. So, of course, at this point in time, Webinterpret's stack of marketplace services has grown. And due to our new age technology, our customers are now able to utilize a complete package of our solutions, ranging from internationalization, marketing, shipping, and of course, returns. So our customers are able to list up to 100% of translated, compliant, and localized items across multiple international marketplaces on eBay. In marketplaces such as, for example, already Bronwyn mentioned, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Ireland, Canada, and Australia. Our sellers are also able to appear at the top of search results with automated ad campaigns with maximized return on investment. They are also able to enable our free returns to build buyer confidence on their end. And of course, our little upcoming gem, our shipping, they are able to increase their sales conversion with our managed shipping solution. That through AI technology automatically sets and optimizes shipping preferences on our sellers' listings, takes care of their routing, ensures their parcels, generates their shipping labels, and of course updates all the tracking information directly on eBay as it's automatically connected to the platform as well. So now let's dig into the first 2 parts, which are internationalization and marketing. I'll be covering those, and then I'll hand over the baton to Marcin, and he'll get into our shipping and our return solutions. So as Bronwyn mentioned, internationalization is really at the core of our solution, as it increases your overall product visibility. It means it is meant basically to increase your overall international market penetration, as your items will be localized in domestic currencies and languages of your international customers to target them directly in their home country instead of necessarily attracting them to your US shop, which of course is much harder to do. And all of this is done, of course, insertion fee free for our US clients. So they do not pay anything for the actual localization and internationalization of their items through our cross-border listing program initiatives. So how does Webinterpret know really what to put on their foreign listing to make it appear as if it was a domestic item for that particular foreign market? So here on this image, we can see the key elements for effective localization identify on an eBay listing that Webinterpret, of course, takes into account when internationalizing your foreign items. So the localization process always takes into consideration category mapping, item translation, attributes mapping, quantity and price synchronization, and item specifics mapping. And all of this is, of course, to make your domestic listing appear local in the market it gets placed in.
So Claudia, sorry, I just have a question. I think some of our sellers might be wondering right now, like, couldn't they just do all of this themselves with Google Translate or some sort of translation tool?
I mean, of course, you could do it with Google Translate and spend thousands of hours doing so and having, to pay people to actually proofread your items, to check if they're compliant with eBay policies, and to, of course, then manage those listings in terms of inventory and then price conversions to make sure that each market is basically synchronized. So, of course, you could do that. But it is really important to note here that our software is programmed to account for a lot of things that normally you wouldn't be able to do on your own. For example, we account for character restrictions or alternate category mapping paths for different international markets, which for you to do manually would take a very long time to actually adjust. So for example, once you get your titles translated, and those translations would outgrow the 80 character limit, our software will recognize this automatically and make the necessary adjustments to actually effectively shorten your title without removing the most important information for that particular listing. Now, you could do this yourself if you speak the language. If not, you would have to actually hire somebody to be able to, recognize the context of the listing. Same goes for category mapping. So it is where, for example, the same category within a given market does not exist, you would then have to find an alternative. In our system, this actually happens automatically, and we find the most appropriate option available for our customers to then place their items in on a foreign market. So this also takes part automatically, so you don't actually have to do these things manually. And we do have our language quality assurance team that also deep dives an analysis on the items each month to check if they're listed in the appropriate categories whenever there's changes within them on eBay.
Okay, cool. So how is localization or internationalization actually achieved on eBay?
Yeah, so there's actually a few stages here. So there's, as you can see on this image, the deep analysis stage, where we actually analyze the listing to establish its own context. For example, the term, let's say, face mask would be translated differently depending if it was referring to a sports accessory versus a health and beauty product. Next comes the term extraction, where we summarize the structured content of the listing, that is all their attributes and product descriptions. And this content provides us with a standardized description that is optimized then for search engines and translates correctly. Next comes the match and confidence score, where we ask ourselves, have we translated this word, attribute, or title before? Where something like this doesn't exist in our program's translation memory, then we basically machine translate it and have it verified by our translation specialists. So then after they are verifying it, this translation gets stored in the translation memory. And of course, after all these processes in the background take place and have been completed, the international listing is then generated and ready to go live on the international eBay markets it's been destined for. And I can say this, of course, the system has been 14 years in the making, and there's always opportunity for improvement. The more sellers we have signing up from different types of categories into the program, the more, of course, we're able to advance this process, and the more words and translations we're able to add to these basically translation memories.
Okay, great. So, well, first of all, that's a very technical and extensive backend process, but really, what is the experience that the seller will see on their end?
Yes, so do forgive me for going into a little bit of detail. I wanted to you guys to understand the technicalities of how the listing is generated. And now basically I'll show you what happens on the seller side. So basically on your side of the spectrum, you will not see any of that happening. You will just see the end results. So whatever is spat out after all that technical jargon happens. So basically, once you connect your token, which is basically like a plugin into your eBay account, Webinterpret will extract your inventory from your domestic store and extract and fetch all the necessary data that I showed in the previous slides to actually populate your items on international markets. So within 24 hours of that happening, your inventory will be localized, translated, and listed internationally. And you will be able to view your items live both on eBay within the active listings section or within your Webinterpret products tab. So you'll be able to view it actually in both. And then once, of course, the beauty of this is that once you actually receive the order from an item that's localized by Webinterpret, you will fulfill it just as usual, either from your eBay dashboard, or if you're, for example, utilizing our Webinterpret shipping, then you would actually fulfill it from your Webinterpret dashboard due to the fact that you just need to generate a label. But then once the label is generated, all the information is transferred over to eBay once again, so it just really adds one additional login step. And also, while of course all this takes place, we constantly update your listings with any changes that you actually make to your inventory. So everything is synchronized. So everything from descriptions, pictures, prices, as I said again, inventory, everything will be synchronized to your foreign items according to the changes made in the US. And we will also always optimize items so they always appear at the top of the search engine. And now let me show you actually how it looks like in the dashboard and what you can actually view from the dashboard itself from the client's point of view. Okay, so there are a few things you can see here at first glance. So for example, how many items you have listed. You can see about 3.6 K, which markets you have open, and how much gross merchandise value, which is the money generated from the international listings, you have actually generated in the past 30 days with Webinterpret. You can also see your sales graph, which shows you sales patterns over a period of 4 weeks, or you can also adjust it to about 80 weeks. For this particular client, he doesn't have an 8-week time period yet due to the fact that he is within his first month on the service itself. And now from the dashboard tab, you can actually navigate into the products tab, where you will be able to see all of the items live within your shop. And you can filter them using the toggles on the left side to select a particular region and filter the products. It will show you that region and all the other regions that are listed alongside this particular item. So from this view, you are able then to select a chosen item. And by clicking on the title, you're able to see the corresponding foreign items on the right side. When you click on the localized item, you will be able to see the item ID and then navigate directly to eBay to view the listing, such as here. This is the Italian listing, so you can view it directly on eBay. So the navigation is quite simple. So there's also a couple of things that you can customize within the dashboard, such as blocking your items, bulk requesting your items into translation, creating conversion charts. I won't go into much detail on those as they are more custom for each client and not each client necessarily needs them, but you do have access to them through the More tab in the Webinterpret dashboard. Give me a second. I'm having technical difficulties here with this video. It's not letting me go to the next slide. Let me try one more time. Okay, perfect. Finally. Love technology, like always. So, of course, this is just an example of a customer that currently has utilized internationalization on our end. They're actually located in the US as well. And you can see that the technology that we provide to our customers actually really brings in some fantastic results and a lot of value. And it really helps our sellers grow their e-commerce business with Webinterpret. So as you can see, this particular seller has increased their sales by 53%. And that's fantastic to increase your sales 53% year on year. That is a result that most sellers would really want to see on their items.
Cool. And Claudia, I just have one little mention quickly. I noticed that since we got started, we did have some more joiners join the webinar. So I just want to remind everyone that you can put your questions in the chat or the Q&A section in Zoom. We're also recording the webinar if you missed the beginning, the internationalization section. And that's all. Carry on.
No problem. Yes, so now I'm going to get into a little bit into the marketing section. So Webinterpret here gives you a solution to increase the visibility of your promoted listing products on 9 international eBay markets at the touch of pretty much one button. So our marketing tool provides our customers with an automated item selection solution through which they can specify their own ad rates, select keywords, and automatically set up campaigns that will help them achieve maximum sales uplift with minimum ad spend, basically. So what are really the differences between the types of advertisements you can do on eBay and what do we support? So you have the promoter listing standards that help your items stand out among billions of listings on eBay and be seen by millions of active buyers, helping to increase the likelihood of pretty much any of your sales. And of course, what is the best part? You only pay when your item sells. Thus, promoted listing standard costs as much as you're willing to pay. You don't have to pay more than you are allowed or are able to spend. So the ad fee is a percentage of the transaction value, excluding your shipping, that you as a seller agree to pay for the advertising. Now, on the other hand, the promoted listings advanced gives you the high visibility you want and the control you need. So you are able to drive traffic to your listings with preferred access to the top slot of search using keywords and budget controls. So it's a little bit different here. Advanced campaigns are based on a cost per click model, which means that you pay per click on your ads. Currently, at this point, Webinterpret supports both of these eBay tools and has incorporated them into your Webinterpret dashboard to promote your foreign listings and, if you wish, also your domestic items once they are live basically on the international platforms. And through this way, by supporting both, we are basically trying to provide you with the maximum reachability and visibility for your items.
Okay, so what does the marketing process look like for sellers using Webinterpret?
Yeah, so it's a little bit easier to manage it from a point of view of the client in terms of the settings rather than, for example, internationalization, as a lot of that, as you see, happens in the background. You don't really see a lot of it. Well, with this, you actually do get a lot of tweaks to do on your end. So basically, once you log into your marketing tab, you are able to enable the whole process all in one spot. And once you accept the terms and conditions for each foreign marketplace, it will redirect to eBay to accept those terms and conditions. All of them are pretty much the same in every language. You just click on accept and then move on to the next. Once you've done that, the promoted listing campaigns really on our end begin automatically within the next 24 to 48 hours. So depending on how big your inventory is and how quickly we can fetch those items. In the meantime, Webinterpret, of course, screens your inventory and selects your high potential items to promote. We can promote all of them. We can promote the ones you wish to promote. And of course, you are able then to monitor your sales and returns on ad spend through the Webinterpret dashboard. So you're able to then manage all of this on our end through the dashboard itself. While you do that as a seller, we also do actions in the background again, and we monitor your campaigns too, and constantly try to improve your campaign efficiency based, of course, on how you are performing within them. So let me actually show you how this looks like within the dashboard on the Webinterpret website. Okay, so this is the screen where you see the full dashboard view of the marketing tab. Within this view, you are able to basically filter your campaigns via all campaigns or only the ones that we currently have live at this time for you. And you are only able to, for example, select only the ones we have live for you at this time. Once you start scrolling down, you will start seeing a more thorough breakdown of everything you really need to track the progress of your campaigns. So you will be, for example, able to see your overall sales increase. You will be able to see your return on investments. You can see, for example, here, the overall increase was about 208%. The total return on ad spend was about $30. Overall ad cost was about 16. So you can see that this customer didn't really invest that much to get a lot of money back. You'll be, of course, able to also view impressions, items sold, clicks, and further down as you move along, you'll be able to also view the sales chart to kind of track all of this information directly on a timeline for yourself. And once we scroll even further down, I'll move this along a little bit, you will be able to see the actual campaigns popping up, and you will be able to see which ones actually do well within each market. So you can see for this particular customer, it's the Australian one that is actually bringing all the sales in. As we've seen, this is a new seller, so not all the ad rates could have been launched at the same time as he launched his first month of basically listing with us. So these are still gaining momentum. But they already did bring his results within one market, so that is fantastic. Also from this view, you are able to, as you can see this little pen here, you are able to actually amend the ad rates and see what kind of strategy you want to actually apply to your ad rates within the platform. So as you can see here, once you pull it up, currently the seller, he won't be able to amend the rates due to the fact that he is utilizing the freemium version of the program, so he's not able to amend them, as we basically put an ad rate of 3.5% on the first freemium month, which is a sponsored month by Webinterpret. But after the first 30 days, he will be able to amend his range of basically either set it up via range, as I mentioned, use Webinterpret or eBay recommendations for the ad rates, or put a fixed applied ad rate right there. So he'll be able to do any of these things through the dashboard directly through this type of setting. And the one last thing that basically customers are able to do as well through this view is exclude items by uploading a CSV file with the items that they do not wish to promote. So that gives you a little bit more control over what is and isn't promoted. If, for example, you're selling certain items that, for example, you don't want to promote because they're used, you don't really wish to sell them abroad that much, you don't mind focusing those items for domestic sales, then you can actually upload them here. And by scrolling down, you will be able to see which items are indicated for promotion and which are currently not.
Thanks, Claudia. And also I'm just asking questions that are kind of on my mind right now. We can really see that sponsored ads are an optimal feature for inducing more sales, but for sellers with not a lot of additional budget, why would they want to spend more money to promote their listings?
Mm-hmm. Of course. So spending money is never easy, as we all know. But as you've seen from the statistics I just showed you, even on that one client that just literally began the service with us, you can see that he didn't really have to invest much to get a nice return on his investment. So sometimes, investing a few dollars really can pay off. And this don't have to be like huge amounts of money, especially on marketplace platforms. Also, the beauty of it is that more than half online shoppers report that they are actually more likely to purchase items through sponsored, promoted items. For example, in this case, during the holiday season, rather than any other item. And this, of course, shows us the tremendous value of investing in a tailored ad experience that can serve up the right item, promotion, or deal at the optimal time. So when shoppers are actually ready to purchase. So you don't have to necessarily run the campaigns the whole year round. You could also focus on certain timeframes within your year as your shop, progresses through its ups and downs in sales and also its seasonality. You can, for example, only during those type of timeframes turn on the marketing feature. So you have the option to turn it on and off as well. And of course, this is quite interesting. 83% of eBay shoppers said that they're likely view an item at the top of the search results and then go on to purchase it. So we all know we are all a little lazy. We don't really want to scroll down through a million of pages. Therefore, promoted listings always appear at the top of the search, and they are more likely to get an actual sale in comparison to the ones that don't. And lastly, 92% of eBay shoppers reported that they plan to do the most of their shopping online this year. So we can still take advantage of that post-COVID mentality where still a lot of the purchases, because people just got used to them over the past couple of years, they still happen online. So we, of course, want to maximize on this potential. We don't know how the e-commerce scene is going to change and if there will be change in the shopper mentality over the next years, or will it remain the same, or will it grow even stronger? So we want to, be prepared for anything we really can, whilst we can, to gain as much visibility. And marketing is especially one of those tools that can do that for us.
Great. So what kind of results can you expect to see from running these campaigns?
Yeah, so here we've compiled together basically a few examples of categories of where we've promoted items for our sellers, which markets we've promoted them in. And you can see that these are real life examples of sellers actually participating in our program. And you can see that their sales increases range anywhere from 98% to 349%. That is quite insane. Of course, a lot of these statistics were also during the COVID period where, international sales were a little bit higher. Nevertheless, having a 349% increase, wow, that's pretty crazy. Who wouldn't want a 349% increase year on year? And you can see here that for every dollar invested, these customers really got a nice revenue back and didn't really have to set up an insane ad rate percentages to really achieve those.
That's awesome. And I just want to say too, again, guys, put your questions in the Q&A. We're going to be taking them at the end, but Toby just asked a question that I think is really relevant right now. He wants to know, can I test this first to see if my marketing campaign improves my sales? So can he test it out? I think it's worth to mention that if you want an entirely risk-free opportunity to test this out, we are offering our sellers 1 month of promoted listing standards, and we're sponsoring their campaigns for them. So Webinterpret actually refunds the ad rates to your invoice, to your Webinterpret invoice for their international items. So that's something that I recommend taking advantage of. Great. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Claudia, for taking us on this internationalization and marketing journey. I think we're on to, yeah, always a pleasure. And I think we're on to the next 2 segments of this, being shipping and returns. So I'm going to hand the microphone over to Marcia now to take us through shipping first and then returns.
Hello, thank you for being here. It's my pleasure to share my knowledge about the shipping and about the product here with you guys. So let's move on to the shipping. So shipping definitely is one of the most critical parts in any type of businesses, right? If you're planning to list your items on the international markets, then you have to get a relevant shipping option simply to cover those orders, which will go to your overseas buyers. So here at Webinterpret, we do have an option for you in terms of shipping. So this option is called the managed shipping and is powered obviously by the Webinterpret. A lot of you probably are familiar with the actual eBay's shipping feature, which is called the Global Shipping Program. So I just want to say here that the managed shipping program made by our company is working pretty much the same as the global shipping program. However, we have added some extra security layers to the shipping. We simplified the process greatly, and actually we are offering a very attractive shipping rates. Some of you might actually experience and see for yourself that we are actually tend to be slightly cheaper than global shipping program, which is the key point here. Now, how it works, a long story short here. So whenever your listings are ready, what your buyers overseas will see on their end is the price of the item, which will include already the shipping price. Now, whenever you will get the international order through the Webinterpret platform, you will be notified both from your eBay store and our platform as well. So you'll actually get two notifications here at the same time. Your only job later on will be to print the label using our shipping tab, put it on the packaging, and here, which is what is worth mentioning, you don't have to ship your items to any hub located in the United States, just like global shipping program does with the Kentucky hub. Here, we do support the pickup option. So once you will print your label, the courier will show up and simply collect the package from the address provided by you when creating the account. This is how it works in a short. Okay. So the key features here, as I mentioned, we have added some extra security layers just to make the process more transparent, more secure, to give you a pleasant experience both for you and to your buyers, obviously. So that being said, we have added a complimentary insurance to any order that you will ship with us. And the insurance is up to $5,000. In this case, if anything happens to your parcel, to your shipment, it gets damaged, or it gets lost, or simply the buyers overseas will try to cheat on you because, you know, we live in strange times. We can't be 100% sure what's going to happen with our package. This is a possibility. Then you can always open a request and ask for a full refund. What's going to happen next? Our team will simply process your request. We'll investigate quickly what happened, what caused the issue, and obviously you'll be fully refunded for whichever losses you might experience during the shipping process. Another thing, we have made this process simplified. Like, we've added a lot of automated options here just to save your time, make the process more transparent. You don't have to adjust dimensions for the packaging yourself. Our accurate and automated system will basically do these things for you. Your only job, as I mentioned before, will be simply to print the label and package the item. Later on, it will be collected by the couriers and dispatched right away to its destination. Okay. So now let's take a look on this short video how the label creating process look like. So this is our shipping, managed shipping dashboard. You can see the list of all the orders, both domestic and international. The data is being fetched from your eBay store and is being displayed here on Webinterpret. Now, here you can see an order which is highlighted with a sky blue color, and there's a visible MS icon next to the order. This is the actual Webinterpret order, the order that came through our platform. Now, if you have multiple orders coming through our platform, you can use the built-in filters, which will help you to display only those orders which are coming through Webinterpret, just to make it simple for you. And now, in order to create the label, you have to click the button located to the right. Once you click it, you will see the predetermined parcel size, which you had a chance to pick when setting up the account, and the label and the provider details, the price, which was chosen by the customers overseas when purchasing one of your items. Now, when you print the label using the blue button at the bottom, you will actually generate the label. Then this will be visible in the processing tab, which will take a while. Once the shipment is being processed, it will appear as a dispatch, and this is when the tracking number will be actually linked to your eBay store, where you can track your orders at any stage of the shipping process. If you have a need to adjust the label size, to customize it up to your need, you can go to the settings and simply choose the preferred size of the label in order to proceed with the shipping. Okay, so that's a long story short for shipping dashboard. Now, here we can see an example of our actual seller located in United Kingdom, which has had enabled the managed shipping feature to his eBay store. And let's take a look at the numbers here, which are, I must say, are quite impressive. So in the last year of his sales, by using our managed shipping program, he was able to increase his sales by impressive 85%. Also visible 80% more orders, which were shipped overseas, simply because he's not getting only the domestic orders from UK, but also many orders from the markets on which this seller is actually listing his items. This particular seller was also able to establish an impressive, solid amount of returning buyers overseas in 6 international markets. So this is not only by the managed shipping, which I just described to you, but also by the feature called the free returns, which we do offer here in our company. And let me talk about the returns itself. So here at Webinterpret, we offer a free returns option, simply to help you create more trust between you and customers. I know that a lot of you quite often, when hear the word returns, are getting the headache almost instantly. But here at Webinterpret, we actually ask why. Why not to enable this feature and simply generate more sales by giving the customer more trust? This is all about trust. So let's take a closer look on the returns feature. Let me read this quotation here to you. And an often cited 2018 survey of 1,300 online shoppers found 96% would come back to a retailer if they had a good returns experience, and 69% were deterred from buying if they knew they would have to pay for the return shipping. Well, I would go pretty much for the same. If I see when I'm interested in purchasing some items from overseas, if I see that there's a free return option, I myself would definitely go for that item, because I know I'm secured here. If something is wrong, I can simply ship it back at no cost, right? So this is worth considering for sure. So what exactly happens and how it can benefit your eBay store if you activate the free 60-day free returns? So if you previously had no returns active, and then you go for Webinterpret cross-border listing program, you enable 60-day free returns, your sales statistically on average can increase even up to 25%. This is quite impressive, and it can only go higher and higher in the following months as you are using our platform. Then again, if you had the option of a 30-day returns, but in this case, buyers still had to pay for the return shipping, and then you enable 60-day free returns with Webinterpret, on the average, you can expect approximately 13% of increased sales. This is still very impressive. And remember, it's all about trust. This will lead to a greater conversion of sales when selling your items overseas, listing them directly on international markets. Now, obviously, not only enabling this option will increase your sales greatly, but also let me give you some tips and tell you some best practices that will minimize the amount of the returns. but still make it a pleasant experience for the customer. So you should always be sure that the product match the item's description on your listings. This is very important, as if it's not, then probably you will get a lot of returns, right? Ensure the photos are clear. There's no artifacts on the picture, no decoloration. The pictures are not blurred, especially in case when you're selling pre-owned items, used car parts. This is very important, just to, show the potential buyer what exactly you are selling, and what they can actually expect from you when they receive your items. Speaking of the packaging, this is very important. Make sure you package your items correctly. You secure the items with some extra security layers like a tape, use a foam in order to prevent your items from being scratched or dented. Ship your items within your stated handling time. Time is money. You'll probably deal with not only a private users, private buyers. You also deal with a lot of customers which are running their own businesses. This is pretty much self-explanatory. You just want to do it in a timely manner to simply meet the expectations there. Issue the refunds quickly. This is very important. Again, this is all about the trust building and keeping your eBay rating at the highest level possible. So make sure you're always doing everything in a timely manner. Time is money. So how the return process looks like here, we have obviously automated heavily this process, and I just want to mention here that any requests from overseas that were come through the Webinterpret platform will be handled by our company on your behalf. We will simply, once there is a return request, we'll simply communicate with your buyers on your behalf. We will be taking care of all the shipping relevant documents. We'll be providing your buyers with the shipping labels and customs documents. Your buyers then will simply have those documents ready to be printed. The items will be dispatched right away to your location. Your only job will be simply to inspect the return goods upon the arrival and refund your customers on a timely manner. This is how it works in a short. Now, the key features and that can basically build the buyer's confidence here. So as I said, the process is automated. You don't have to spend a tremendous amount of time, thinking, trying to figure out what to do in terms of shipping related documents, labels, how to communicate with the buyer. Speaking of the communication, you can communicate with your buyer in your own native language. This will be accurately translated into potential buyer's language. For example, transfer from English to German, and you can basically have a lifetime conversation, as the system will translate your conversations right away, very accurately, making this process a pleasant one and very transparent. Return dashboard will help you to basically monitor and manage your returns request from one single interface, a very user-friendly interface. Let's take a look at this one. So just like for the shipping, here for the returns, you can basically track all of the return requests, both domestic and international. Again, here, if you're getting the international return request that is going through our platform, you will see it highlighted with the sky blue color. And then again, the WI icon should pop up just by the international order that came through Webinterpret, simply to help you identify which orders are domestic, which orders are international here. You can check the return reason and also what is the current status of your return. Okay, and in this case, I would say that will be all if it's about the shipping and returns. Hopefully, this will make you want to try our shipping and returns feature, as this can simply lead to a more sales conversion overseas. If you'll have more questions about the shipping and returns, please do not hesitate to ask them. Once we'll actually open the channel to ask questions. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you,
back to Bronwyn.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so this is pretty much concluding the webinar. We wanted to put one slide for you to kind of see how everything works together, how everything intersects. So really all of our services from internationalization, marketing, shipping, and then hopefully no returns, but we have the feature available to induce more sales. Everything works in tangent together. So again, like the four really key propositions throughout all four core services are to access more buyers internationally, get top search results, grow your sales conversion rate, and also to increase your buyers' confidence. And we think that's a pretty solid recipe for increasing your sales through the eBay marketplace. So yeah, that's it from us. I want to say as well, if you go to the next slide there, we have our all of our information present here on this slide. You can book a call through our general channel, webinterpret.com /US/contact. And you can also contact Claudia and Martin directly. There are their emails, there are their phone numbers. If you lose them between now and when you want to reach out to them, we're going to be sending a recording and also the slides from this presentation to everyone that registered. So yeah, I'm going to open up. It looks like we do have some questions here. So I'm going to open them. Okay, so the earliest one was from Toby. I think this goes back to when we were talking about internationalization or localization on eBay. Toby asks, hi, do I need to pay for your listings? Very interesting, but I'm worried about eBay fees increasing and more items means more fees to me.
Yeah.
Toby, do you want to take that?
Yeah, no problem. So as I mentioned, all of your listings will be insertion free. Due to the fact that we have partnerships running with eBay. We are, as Brian mentioned, they're a silver partner in the US and the gold partner in Europe. So we've been doing this quite some time with them. Through the cross-border partnership program, basically eBay will swipe any fees related to your international listings, so you'll not pay any insertion fees. Of course, standard final fees apply to your listings once they sell on eBay. That's just normal. It's like any other sale within the platform. And then, of course, if you do generate any sales on our end, you have then 2 of our packages, which we do also charge a success fee on. Nevertheless, we do have tools through which you can offset some of that cost into your buyers. So the cost is really minimal, and we of course do offer a trial if you do have compatible shipping.
Okay, great. Thank you. Toby, hopefully that answered your question. I have one from Maxim here. Yeah, it looks like he has a question on seller limits, which we do get asked about. So yeah, he basically says, yep. Okay, so if you guys can see the chat too, that might be helpful, but I'll read it out. He has 19,000 listings. By using our service, it caps out his limit. Yeah, I guess by creating the international listings, he says he's asked eBay to raise a limit. So what's your advice for him basically to work on those limits?
Yeah, of course. So there is certain limitations within the platform that Webinterpret has to abide by as well. We are not, part of eBay. We are just their partner, so we can only do so much as well. What my recommendations, of course, is whenever you're initiating the program with us, and you know that you are close to reaching your limits, first of all, please apply for a limit increase before you decide to join the program, because you shouldn't then be surprised that those limits are reached when we are localizing your items into 8 markets. That's 8 times your inventory size. So that's quite crucial to do that before. If, for example, you're not sure if you're going to run out of those limits and you do want to start off slower to kind of see how your account does, I would definitely recommend, instead of going full speed with 8 markets, open up, let's say 3 for the beginning. Do that, see how your limits react, and then build that visibility slowly. 99% of the time, if you do reach out to eBay, it does take anywhere between 24 to 78 hours, depending on which time frame you're actually requesting the increase in. So they do take a look at that. Worst case scenario, if the increase is not applied. And of course, I mean, worst case scenario if you are above standard, because if you are a below standard customer, that is no surprise. eBay does not increase below standard customers' limits, because customer limits increases are done for customers that abide by their rules. So if you are above standard and there's still an issue, you're still waiting, I don't know, it's for some reason, they're just not getting back to you. In this case, you can always reach out to us. We do have our partnership team through which we can escalate urgent cases to eBay as well. It does get escalated to the exact same team that you guys escalate to, but because we are a partner, certain cases, if we do flag them, I might get looked at way quicker.
Okay, that's awesome. So, and I think, yeah, Maxim, yes, as he's done some of these things, Maxim, what I would recommend is reach out to our team directly, reach out, Claudia's email right here, send her an email with your account information and we'll look into this one for you. Absolutely. Yeah, because I think also sometimes requesting from our team directly can help the situation. So we'll definitely get in touch with you and help you out there. Cool. Okay, and then a couple more from Toby. Toby wants to book a meeting with Claudia. Can you book a call? Yes, Toby. Absolutely. So just send her an email directly. You can honestly talk to both of these two awesome representatives about any of the 4 services. But if you wanted to reach out to Martin about shipping and returns, do so. Claudia, internationalization and marketing, or any of all the above. Also, you can go through our general contact, but they'll get back to you quicker if you just email them directly.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah. I think that's it. I don't see any more new questions here. Yeah, Maxim, we look forward to hearing from you. Just send us an email and we'll help you out. And yeah, that concludes the webinar for today. So thank you guys for joining. If anything else pops up later, please reach out. And we've really enjoyed spending the afternoon with a lot of you. Some of you, it might be the morning. So I know the US spans across, we have like a 3-hour gap between the East Coast and the West Coast. So thanks guys for joining, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks, Joseph. Thanks, guys. Bye.